Morning. The server, the web, and online teams, we've been working hard, and we're very excited to be here today and over the next few days to share our work with you. ArcGIS Server includes both GIS services and applications, as well as APIs to help you build applications. And there's enhancements across the board in both these areas. Services, we have new applications to discuss, and more powerful APIs. This is the architecture of the ArcGIS Server system. These applications work with the services server using REST and SOAP APIs. They include APIs for building browser-based applications, JavaScript, Flex, and Silverlight, as well as mobile applications, applications for the iPhone, and also desktop. We started this paradigm, like Scott described, at 9.3 of focusing on working with a services server, using this services-based approach, and the focus really is on REST-based services, access to them over HTTP from the browser and from devices. Our core server has mapping, analysis, and visualization services, processing services, and these are working with data in file systems as well as in databases. ArcGIS Server runs both on-premise as well as in the cloud. And at 10, we have ArcGIS Server for Amazon, which allows you to deploy server in the cloud and tap into the advantages of the cloud in terms of the elasticity and scalability and the ability to easily add additional server instances. We're making this available in the form of Amazon machine images for ArcGIS Server. ArcGIS Server has a rich set of GIS services. And there's enhancements to all of these at 10. That include mapping, editing, querying, image delivery, geoprocessing, and these are accessible via REST, SOAP, and OGC interfaces. As far as developing applications go, we have the web APIs. And these are what allow you to really integrate this geographic information into highly usable applications. So you want to build an application that integrates into your website and makes this geographic information accessible to users in the most natural way that they need. And that's what the APIs give you, the ability to build these custom applications. And we have the JavaScript API, we have the Silverlight API, we have the Flex API, and these can be used by you as web developers. They are very clean, simple models, and at the same time, they're very powerful. And they expose the power of the back-end GIS services server to you as the developer, and therein to the end user. We also have configurable applications. So rather than use the APIs, you might choose to start off with an application and configure it. And we have the ArcGIS application for Flex. We also have this approach in the mobile space. We also have SharePoint parts that you can configure. At 10, we also have ready-to-use applications, and you've seen some of these. So they include ArcGIS Explorer Online, as well as the ArcGIS web map that's integrated into arcgis.com. And these let end users build applications to work with geographic information. So if you don't want to build a specialized application, you have these applications out of the box that you can use. This category of applications also includes ArcGIS for iPhone that you'll see later on this morning. And then, of course, on the desktop, we have ArcGIS Explorer as well as ArcGIS Desktop. There are many enhancements in ArcGIS Server 10. Among them, easy-to-use web editing that's available across all clients, time-aware maps and services, enhanced image delivery, lots of enhancements in the caching area, geoprocessing, very powerful image delivery services, and we have an extensibility model for REST and SOAP-based services, so that if you need to do custom work in the server, build your own services, you can do that too. In the area of web editing, we're really extending web editing out to all clients at this release. This includes browser-based clients, as well as the iPhone, as well as mobile. These APIs give you the ability to build light and intuitive user experiences for your end users. And these applications can span from simple sketching to feature editing. Plus, because they're based on this services approach, you can build really scalable editing for large user communities. But enough talking about it. Let's look at the developer's perspective on these applications, and Jeremy Bartley will help us do that.
All right, thanks, Sid. I'm pleased to announce that on yesterday morning, we released the public beta for the ArcGIS JavaScript API for 2.0. Work against your 9.3.1 server, but actually the most exciting part is it works with your 10 server. And there, like Sid said, there's a huge list of important features and services that are new and information that's exposed that you can use to build applications with. I'm going to focus on editing. The SDK itself looks familiar to what you guys are used to. The team has done an amazing job to build a really in-depth, informative API off of all of the new great services that work with ArcGIS Server. So I encourage you to go look at the concept stock, look at the inside the API, and focus on the editing, feature layers, and temporal data. But really, the coolest part about all of these web APIs are the online samples that you can just try and run right from your browser. At 2.0, we have over 100 samples that you can try online and just use. I want to focus in on a couple that are related to editing. So I'm going to drill into feature layer. A feature layer is a new concept for us on the JavaScript API side, and the Flex also. There's an existing feature layer in Silverlight. It's being enhanced, but the feature layer is really the foundation for all of the editing and time-based applications that you're going to do. Allows you to pull features directly to the client, and it contains information about the layer. So things like scale dependency, layer definitions, and so forth. So it's a very powerful concept. Let's take a look at a little bit of the code here. This is oil and gas fields in Kansas, and I'm panning around the map, and I'm requesting features as I pan. If I look at the code for this application, I'll see a very simple app. So I'm creating a map at a particular extent. I create my base map layer, tiled map service layer, and I add it. I'm going to generate the information that I want to show in the info window using our info template. Then I create this feature layer. The feature layer is similar to how you would create a map service layer, but it doesn't take a URL to a map service. It takes a URL to a layer in a map service or a layer in a feature service to support editing. I have the mode for how often I want to go back to the server to query the features. I can set my info template and what fields I want to come back. I can also set the definition expression on this feature layer. In this case, I just want features that where production gas is true. Then I add that to the map. Now, you'll notice that the application actually displayed the symbols as it was rendered on the server. Rendering information is now included in ArcGIS Server 10 for the map service and the feature service. So the renderer is all set up and it just works, and there are features on the client. Now let's look at an editing example. So for editing with ArcGIS Server 10, we have there's many different types of editing applications that you're going to create. You'll create applications that are very focused where the user doesn't even know it. But you might have you want to create a very simple editing kind of SketchUp-like application, but working with real features. And that's what we provide out of the box. So what we're looking at here is a set of layers, points of interest layer, evacuation, fire perimeter. They're all related to fire. I've pre-authored what the user can actually create. And that's what we're seeing in this template picker. So I could go in and visit an existing feature. So this is an existing fire perimeter. I can modify the text, make it bold in a rich text editor. It's automatically saved back to the server. I can move the feature around the map. It shows me all the vertices. I can move them around, add new ones, delete existing vertices. And as soon as I'm done, I'm saving it back into the map. I can also add new features. So in this case, I want to add a voluntary evacuation zone. right here.